Let's go. We'll go. Oh, I think. Let's go.
Okay, the mayor's called the meeting to order. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Yes. Here.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Here.
Councilmember Arundel.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Joseph.
Yeah.
Mayor Rigolosa. Here. Okay, we have 5 ayes, which means a quorum is present for this regular meeting of the Garfield City Council, which is being held today, which is Tuesday, December the 11th, 2018. This regular meeting is being held in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been provided by mail, facsimile, and email to the official city newspapers and to other interested parties, and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin boards in City Hall. If everyone will please rise, we'd like to begin with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Garfield lost one of our distinguished citizens this past week, Mr. Eugene Van Lenten, who served proudly in the Korean War, who was one of 10 or 20 survivors of a battalion of 300 men. He was very active in our Veterans of Foreign Wars post. He was a true patriot. Mr. Van Lenten passed away. Mr. Mayor, I would ask for a moment of silence in memory of Eugene Van Lenten and all of the veterans that have served, that have come from the city of Garfield. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes up to and including November 27, 2018?
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Aloya.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Calendrillo. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph.
Aye.
Mayor Rigolosa.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Is there a motion to approve the reports of the cabinet as presented orally and in writing during the work session held earlier this evening?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney, seconded by Councilmember Aaron Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigolosa. Okay, we have 5 ayes. Proceed with resolutions, Mr. Breyer.
Yes.
Okay, the very first resolution that we have reads as follows. Whereas Teresa Leibowitz is a 17-year-old dancer born and raised in Garfield, New Jersey, and is the daughter of Scott and Paola Leibowitz, and is the sister to Jeremy, who attends Garfield Middle School. And whereas Teresa started her dance training in 2004 with Garfield teacher Janet Feedy, and while studying dance, Teresa also studied science at the Bergen Arts and Science Charter School in Garfield. And over a 4-year period, Teresa won BASC's Science Fair 4 times. And most impressively, her grand prize science fair win was in the 6th grade. And whereas Teresa graduated to Allegro Arts Academy of Dance, where she studied for 7 years and became accomplished in tap, hip-hop, modern, flamenco, and most impressively in ballet. And she became an instructor at the Allegro Arts Academy of Dance, teaching 3 to 6-year-old children. And whereas Teresa was a summer camp counselor at the Seashore Day Camp for 5 years, attends the academies at Englewood, Dwight Morrill High School, has maintained an A average with a GPA of 3.9, and is a member of the National Honor Society and the National English Honor Society. And whereas in Teresa's sophomore year, she joined the Dwight Morrill High School marching band under the direction of Gary Hollander, and in her senior year, she rose to 2018-2019 dance team captain, leading the dance team at every football game. And whereas Teresa was selected to be one of only 7 dancers to march and dance in this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City as a member of the Macy's Great American Marching Band 2018, with 50 million people watching on TV. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield, Bergen County, New Jersey, that Teresa Leibowitz is hereby congratulated for proudly marching and dancing and representing not only her schools and dance academies in the 2018 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but most importantly, her hometown of Garfield, and for showing the world what it means to hail from the City of Champions. This resolution is offered by the entire City Council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloy.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank the mayor and council for permitting me to bring this resolution to the table for signatures. I'd also like to thank Paula and Scott for the opportunity that I've had to share in my granddaughter's life, Teresa, for all this time. Grandma's crying already, Teresa. It's really an honor and a privilege to talk about your family so many times, but Teresa really did an outstanding job, and it took a lot of years to get where she accomplished the ability to march down with the Macy's Parade as one of the only 7 dancers from 4 different states, because they had from all over the country. It was really a great honor to watch you dance, Teresa. It's even a greater honor to vote. And you know what's most impressive? You look at your grandchildren and you say, well, did you make your bed? Did you do your homework? Then you listen to someone else read their resume, and it really does send chills up and down your spine. Congratulations, Teresa. We are all so proud of you. I am so proud to vote aye.
Yes, Teresa, I've seen you grow up from a young child into a young lady. And I got to say, your grandparents are so proud of you. Your parents are so proud of you. And being from the city of Garfield, we are so proud of you. You know, to have that distinguished honor of being in the Macy's parade with, I believe, it was 7 other dancers or 6 other dancers, that's tremendous. And hearing all of these things with your 3.9 GPA average, you know, that's phenomenal. We're proud of you, and congratulations. I vote aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Yes, Teresa, it's so nice to see such a woman at such a young age have quite the extensive resume that you have. And, you know, a 3.9 GPA, National Honor Society, being one of 7 dancers to, you know, lead the Macy's Day Parade. That's absolutely amazing. I know I attended the parade for the first time 2 years ago, and I was honored just attending it and being there with my family, let alone being it in quite the matter that you were. And I think all of these accolades that we're talking about tonight are, you know, a result and a true testament to your hard work and dedication to all of that you do. And it's evident to me that you have such passion, and people with great passion make the impossible happen. So don't let that spark ever go out. Congratulations. I'm very happy to vote aye.
Yes, Teresa, great job, Teresa. Congratulations. I see you started with Janet Feedy. You know, she taught a lot of Garfield kids in her house. She's a great inspiration. But you, what an inspiration, Tree. I seen when they were reading all the stuff that you did, you were like, you know, kind of shy. But take credit, Teresa. I mean, that's great. Take credit. You know, it was a lot of hard work, you know, on your behalf, and you did it. And I remember, like Councilman Calandrilla said, when you were a young kid, I seen you floating around at the St. Joe's dinners at Mount Virgin with your cousins dancing. And I didn't think you could make it this far, but you did a heck of a job. I'm glad you didn't take no lessons from your grandfather in dancing, because I did see him dance at a few functions, and great job. Teresa, we're very proud of you, Teresa. The entire city. I know my family's proud of you. They've seen you grow up. You're a great kid, turning into a wonderful lady. I vote aye.
Teresa, you know, the discipline to be dancing all your life since you were 3 years old, you know, that's impressive. To maintain a 3.9 through, you know, high school. My GPA didn't even add up to a 3.9 in my 4 years of high school. So that, that's impressive in itself. But, when the parade was over, marching down, New York City in the Macy Days parade, that will last forever. That's a memory that you'll hold forever. Long when you have kids and your grandkids, this is a story you're going to be telling your family and your family moving on down the road. I mean, just think about that. 1 of 7 people in the United States get to do that. And, that's something that no one can ever take away from you. Your family's raising you the right way. You're a young woman and you're moving forward and you're going to make your own future brighter. So I vote aye. At this time, I would be honored to give you this resolution, but I think it'd be more honor if your grandfather hand this to you. So,
Thank you, Mayor. Come on up, Dee.
Want to get it?
Lou, you gotta get a picture. First, you and your family, Lou.
Mayor, council. Tom, you coming up? Come out. Come back. Yeah, of course.
Lou, congratulations.
Bringing her up.
Absolutely.
Frankie's taking over on you. You don't have Jason on the names, probably.
No, she's ready. Hey, Drew, she says she's not that good at it. I said, she'll do better.
Come on, coach.
Okay, the very next resolution that we have reads as follows.
Hold on, quiet.
Whereas the 2018 Garfield Junior Boilermakers cheerleaders of the Garfield Boys and Girls Club of Garfield Intermediate Team helped cheer on the Garfield Intermediate Division, who had a very successful year in the NJJFL Football League. And whereas the squad is comprised of
Victoria Hidalgo, Fabiana Pitanga, Darlene Sabando, Lucia Caceres, Samantha DeVal, Alyssa Sigmund, Christina Sullivan, Taylor Kovacs, Jade Jones, Alexis Zollinger, Jalissa Dragojevic, Aracelis Figueroa, Gabriela Ledger, Michaeli Jones, Janelle Figueroa, Irma Sanchez. Led by their outstanding coaches, Deanna Eisenman, Jamie Ronay, Jen Ruesta, Gabby Giglio, and Bethany Cardoza.
And whereas the City Council is desirous of publicly recognizing the outstanding team spirit and support of the 2018 Garfield Junior Boilermakers Intermediate Division cheerleaders. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield, Bergen County, New Jersey, that congratulations are hereby extended to the Garfield Junior Boilermakers Intermediate cheerleaders for an outstanding championship season. The resolution is signed by the entire City Council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Mayor, you requested that we do all comments after we do both?
Yes.
Vote aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Do we have a coach for the?
Do we have a coach to read the?
Okay. The next resolution reads as follows. Whereas the 2018 Garfield Junior Boilermakers of the Boys and Girls Club of Garfield intermediate team had a very successful season in the NNJJFL Football League. The NNJJFL consists of Park Ridge, Montville, Hawthorne, Rivervale, Hillsdale, Lodi, Washington Township, and Westfield. And whereas, I don't know if you could just use that for the second words, the team is comprised of.
The team is comprised of Thomas Messina, Xavier Sambaria, Devon Thorpe, Nick Felipe, Marcelo Giglio, Carmine Evelina, Jaden Jennings, Devar David, Tico Vargas, Jonathan Hurtas, Aiden Peterson, Fabian Barrera, Brian Davison, Aaron Gilks, Jada Smith, Jaden Robinson, Talib McCullen, Jason Grecki, Austin Falone, Tang Carrera, Miguel Miranda, Richard Ricolosio, Joseph Del Torre, Anthony Gomez, Anthony Nolasco, Isaiah Delgado, Eddie M., Alex Leona, Landon Pena, Mason James, Anthony Harrow, Omar Rosario, Elon Tapier, Jaden Dowd, Ashton Panett.
The coaches.
And led by head coaches Jason Dowd, assistant Frank Calandrillo Sr., Troy Briggs, Glenn Falone, Frank Calandrillo Jr., Phil Peterson, Jason Walker, Progiglio, and Greg Gux.
What the coach didn't read was also that the team brought home another trophy to the City of Champions. And whereas the City Council is desirous of publicly recognizing the outstanding accomplishments of the 2018 Garfield Junior Boilermakers Intermediate Team, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield, Bergen County, New Jersey, that congratulations are hereby extended to the Garfield Junior Boilermakers Intermediate Team of the Boys and Girls Club of Garfield for their outstanding championship season. The resolution is signed by the entire City Council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
To all of the cheerleaders, to all of the ball players, to all of the coaches, I congratulate you. Aren't you guys tired of winning? No. How many games have you won? 60 straight games? Is that true? It's because the cheerleaders cheer them on, obviously. You give them the spirit. I know it's because of the coaches, because my son-in-law Greg says he carries the whole coaching team every time he comes home. That's his comment to us. Right, Greg? Isn't that what you said? No, he didn't say that. First and foremost, all of the parents, thank you for sharing your family with the city family and giving us the opportunity to have this outstanding team, boys and girls, cheerleaders and football players. To all of the coaches, yes, you deserve an applause. To all of the coaches who volunteer their time, everyone, no kidding aside, everyone is an essential part of a team. That's what makes it so great. I congratulate all of the coaches for their outstanding work. And to those that play and those that give us the spirit to play on, I congratulate you for the way you represent the city of Garfield. God bless you. God bless Garfield. I vote aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Yes, I would first like to speak about the cheerleaders. You know what? The cheerleaders are there just about every practice that the boys are practicing. They're doing their cheers. They're working on all their physical different things they do in cheer. You know, they have the halftime. During the halftime, they all perform, and they do a great job in representing the city of Garfield. So to the cheerleaders, thank you for cheering for these young men. To the coaches, thank you for taking these young ladies and giving them some instruction on some dance. You know, I'm sure there's dance involved. And I also want to thank you know, we have cheerleading on all different groups. We have our Mighty Might. We have our Pee Wee. We have our seniors. I want to thank those cheerleaders also. Thank you for being there for the boys. And also, you know, we had one cheerleader that sang our national anthem perfectly.
She's here.
If you could please stand up, young lady. What Jason?
Irma.
Irma, would you please stand up? Ladies and gentlemen, I heard her sing. I heard her sing at the ribbon cutting for the new school on Passaic Street, and I went to Jay and Paul and says, "You got to let her sing for our Super Bowl." And what a great job you did, and what courage it is to get up there with no music and to just sing it perfectly on tune. I am amazed. Again, let's give it up for it. And to Paul and Jason, not only are you guys coaches, but Paul, you're the president of the Coaches Association. Jason, you're the head of our GJB organization, our director, as well as coaching. And you know what? It's very time consuming. And to all the coaches that I had the pleasure of working with, you know what? It's a long season. It's from August 1st to November 17th or 18th, depending on how far we go. What a dedication all these fine gentlemen offer, and everything they do, from our team moms that help, and everybody that helps in the kitchen, and the parents that help. You know what? What an organization. You know, many times I'm asked, how does this organization compare to the great years when we had Miles Austin, when we had Louis Castillo, NFL stars? I see it's exactly the same. It's that good. The athletes to the football players that we've had this year. You know what? I had the fortune of coaching you the last 2 years, this year and the year before. And I understand that many of you athletes have never lost a football game since Mighty Mites. That is something that I can never imagine in my wildest dream. My unbelievable. And I want to tell you, young men, you know, we had a team that if there's an injury, we didn't suffer, because we had kids that would step up and do the job just as well, just as good as the person that went down. We had a line that protected their quarterback. Thomas, how many times were you sacked on the A level? 0. All right, to the linemen, great job. To our running backs, you know what? Phenomenal athletes. And if you young men stay together and work hard, you know what? You're going to give City of Garfield a lot of pleasure going forward as far as watching your athletic ability and winning football games. And it's not just about winning. It's about the relationships that you form on the field, working with each other. You know, I don't know if anybody knows, and I'm going to go a little bit longer, Mayor. I'm sorry, but these kids are fantastic. They run hills. That big hill at Century Field, if they don't run that hill 1,000 times during the season, because maybe that's what makes them such good football players. And sometimes it's to get them in. Sometimes it's used as discipline, but as from coaches, we know it's going to make them the best athletes they can be. So, guys, I'm very, very proud of all of you. I am going to miss you guys. A lot of you are moving up to seniors, and the ones that are staying down as juniors, We'll be happy to keep the winning tradition, but you make the city proud. You wear your uniforms to other towns, and they just marvel at the quality of the team. And coaches, great job. And with that, I vote aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Well, that's definitely going to be hard to follow. I just want to say it's always a proud moment as a former GJB member myself to honor our junior Boilermakers. It's now becoming a yearly occurrence. It's something you should absolutely be proud of. And it's a true testament to your talent and perseverance as athletes, as a team, as coaches, and as the parents and guardians that we have in our audience this evening. It takes a group effort to be as successful as you have been over the years, and you accomplish so much more when you work together. And again, that's just your team is just further proof to that statement. So cheerleaders and football players, congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you again next year. I vote aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Let's get up for these cheerleaders. Are they looking good tonight or what? Come on, give them a hand. Look at the bows in their hair. Yeah. Excellent job. These girls are looking great. Love the outfits. You make the football team look good. Yeah. To all the kids, to the girls and to the boys, the football team and cheerleading squad, congratulations on a fantastic year. I was lucky enough to see some of your games, and I'll tell you, it's simply amazing the amount of talent, the amount of friendship, and the amount of fun, mostly fun, that these kids had out there. And that's what it's all about. Because 10 years from now, 15 years from now, these are the days you're going to remember, playing football with your friends, cheering with your friends. I was a parent lucky enough to have a daughter in the cheerleading at the GJB, sons that played, and those were the happiest times. I mean, we had a great time. To the parents, but I know how hard it is bringing a kid to practice every night, getting the homework done, getting the girls dressed up for the game, and it's a lot of work. I give you so much credit. And I say it 1,000 times, no matter how old these kids get, it's the parents that they look for first in the stands. So never give up on going to support your kids. Believe me, they might not show it when they get older that they appreciate, but believe me when I tell you, you're the first ones that they look for in the stands. So keep it up. To all the coaches, thank you so much for the volunteer work that you do. You take time away from your family to be with our family. Thank you. To the ladies in the kitchen and the guys, thank you so much for those empanadas. They were great, and I'm telling you, it's stuff like that makes us a great city. All the volunteer that you do, because you know what? It's like you have nothing else to do. Believe me, I know how much you have to do, but still you take time to do it, to volunteer. Thank you. The whole city appreciates it. And I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You kids deserve everything that Santa's going to give you, and then some. With that, I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Okay, to the parents, this is like the end of practice. The coaches end practice, the kids gather, and still another 25 more minutes on the field. Because Jason knows what I'm talking about. It takes a long time to get those kids off the field, but I'm going to try to make this real quick. Parents, it's the commitment you have for your family to bring them down there from August to November, from the heat to the cold. It's something to be said to you that, I know my son plays, and there are times I had to battle him to get him to the football field because he doesn't want to go. It's too hot, it's too cold, or he was on his Xbox playing one of the Fortnite. Yeah, a couple of you guys over there. To the coaches.
She said the wrong word.
Yeah, Fortnite, right? They got to get home for Fortnite. To the coaches, so everybody understands that the Garfield Junior Boilermaker Football and the Coaches Association with the cheerleaders, they're student athletes. They make sure that these kids, and I have a lot of them in my school, and these kids, they're all great students. They're great students, and the coaches make sure of that. If they weren't, they wouldn't be playing. And that's a testament to the coaches. And, you volunteer your time. And just so you know that you guys make a difference. You know, in that 15 years, when these kids are talking and they're hanging out with their friends later on, they're going to remember their coaches. We all remember our coaches. You know, Frankie played about 40 years ago, 50 years ago, right, Frank? No, I'm not embarrassing. I played like 45 years ago. But we remember our coaches. We remember our coaches. We remember everything. We remember our cheerleaders, you know. And for the cheerleaders, the football players do remember you guys. Yeah, no, I'm not off.
You were right, Mayor.
Yeah. To the players and the cheerleaders, you know, come August, there's a aura in Garfield that football season's starting. You see Elizabeth Street get busy, the field's getting filled, parents are putting their chairs out. You know, when it gets a little colder, they're sitting in their cars. But, you know, during November and October, it's a great time to be in Garfield because, you know, everybody is having fun because we're winning. 60 games in a row. Amazing. So I congratulate the cheerleaders, the parents, the football players, and the coaches. Congratulations, everybody, and Merry Christmas to all. I vote aye.
Hey, Mayor, I just
Yes.
want to say one last thing real quick. I just want to thank my son Frankie for giving his time to help the organization. And without his encouragement, that's how I got back into coaching. So thank you, Frankie.
You got it.
How you gonna hand them out?
Yeah, we do the cheerleaders. Well, the cheerleaders, we do. Just call the players up and hand out them, or you just going to do it?
I don't know, you want to do the cheerleaders first, because we read them first, and they
Let
Okay.
Jason say, just have
And then we'll
Jason
do
do
the-
the football.
I was gonna say he's here right now. He could just do it,
Okay.
and then the cheerleaders.
You bring it up first. Cheerleaders?
We're gonna do the football players first. Football players. The coach is here.
Coach, make a call.
So call them one by one?
Yeah.
No, just call
No,
him
just
up.
have them come up, shake hands, come around.
All right, let's go. All the football players, make your way up here.
Stop by.
Over here. Whoa. All right, stop. All right, Jaden, go shake everybody's hand all the way around.
Take that hood off your head. You're inside.
See, Max, man. Hey, he's all got the day off tomorrow. He said, good job, Shane. Good job. Everything good? Congratulations. Take that here. I have to see that. Nice job, man.
Where's your mom? That's $2,000. He's gonna get detention.
Man. All right, buddy. Good job. Congratulations. Good job. Nice stats. Congratulations. You got a nice stats. Nice job, brother. Good job. Yeah, good job, man. Way to go. Nice job. Nice job. Good job. Nice job, brother. Nice job. Excellent job. Go. Good job. Nice job, Pat. You always smile. Oh, God.
Another one.
Put the spot over there.
Hey, Frank.
Go, good job, man.
Make sure everyone knows you're the mayor.
Thank you for all your help this year. Thank you guys. You always bend over backwards for the organization. Thank you.
Hello?
Okay. Ready, Joe? All right, the moment. I don't even know if this thing's on. Hello, hello, hello. All right, will the cheerleaders come on up? The moment we've all been waiting for. Come on up, cheerleaders.
Sam, nice job, Sam. Excellent job. Great job. Excellent. Victoria. Superb. Excellent job. Excellent job. Fantastic. Love it. Excellent. Great job. Excellent job. Excellent job. Come on. Excellent. Fantastic. Good job. Nice. You're the best. Nice. Good job. So much. Oh my God. Great job. Put your back up there. Christine. Nice job, Christine. There you go. Go. You got it. Nice job, bro. All right. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, 2-minute recess. We got 2-minute recess. We're not gonna give his kids a kiss or a hug. Mayor, going for a 2-minute recess? Yes, 2-minute recess, Lou. It's a shame this is not on cable vision.
Yes, sir.
She was like all excited, so we should do something with this.
Yeah, okay, we can correct it. Yeah.
And look what she sent me. So
Can you spell it and we'll. Well, yeah, that'd be helpful. Yeah. Right, and if you have an email address too. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Sponsoring two families for social services. Sponsoring two families for social services.
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to look at it's expensive. I go, I'm sponsoring two families again like last year. Do you want to help out? No, no thanks. Mom, Mom,
Did you see this on the internet? Kid accidentally brings blow up sex dolls. I can't even. I can't hear you.
You have your address too?
I've been to one in Burlington because Nicola was working, but not, it's very nice. Okay, thanks a lot. Ton of work. Let me reconnect. Okay, thanks.
Ricardo? Yeah, I don't even know Ricardo. He never gets in. Oh, Tank. No, he's not getting in trouble. He's not getting sent to the office. Oh, okay.
Teachers email him saying,
I remember he said at one point he was getting picked on or something.
Take your power.
Yeah, all right. I'll get him down. Tomorrow morning. And I'll talk to him. He's feeling, yeah, I know, because he's never done in my office, so he's feeling everything. Maybe I'll get his mother in too. We got free tutoring from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, every subject, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Like I'm not gonna try to do.
Then the teachers aren't sending them down, so it's not that bad. Yeah. I'll get him down. We'll get him on the right track. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. You all right? All right.
Bye.
That kid's getting recruited by big schools.
Who's that?
Jason's son.
What, you mean high school?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it when I was there.
How old? He's in 8th grade.
No, he's in 6th.
That kid is in 6th grade.
They're all 5th and 6th graders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, intermediate.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, resolutions number 381 to and including number 390 have 5 signatures on them. So if there's no objection, I would take one roll call vote on all those resolutions.
378.
381 to
390.
390.
Oh, 381 to 390, I'm sorry. Okay.
Correct. To 390. So on the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolution number 391, it's a resolution authorizing the award of the Garfield Library Elevator and Stair Addition Project to Santorini Construction Incorporated. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Mayor, this elevator for almost $700,000 has been bothering me immensely. I realize that voting against it would be voting against people that need to use an elevator. But I really think that in the future, for projects that cost us $700,000 when our budget for the library is only $900,000 for an entire year, is something that we really should evaluate in a long process. Things like this, nothing about the construction company It's just the overall amount of $695,000. I know we talked it down to 600, but that's not even what this authorization is for. So hopefully we'll have the change orders that will bring it down to 600. So I'm going to support it because I support people that need the elevator. I just had a tough time spending that type of money without it being thought out. I vote aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Yes, we discussed this at the last meeting, and my concern was the second floor ADA compliant. And have we established that to be true?
I'm sorry.
The
Didn't
ADA,
Mary Jo say it was?
Yes, I spoke to Mary Jo at the tree lighting, and she said it was.
okay. And the thing is, yes, we did vote a while back to go after the community development funds, but I kind of agree with Mr. Aloy on this, that when the numbers come in at such a unanticipated figure, because back then, I would never have thought that the elevator would cost as much as it did. But there again, for the reasons that it's going to be there for, they outweigh any of the negatives, and I'm going to support this. But when we do get extraordinary prices on something that we, I don't know, did we anticipate it being this high, Tom, at all?
I can't answer that. That would be Mr. Boswell and the architect who worked on that, so
I mean,
I can't
know-
answer that.
I know
But the
personally.
the only thing that I can say for the benefit of the public is, there is a $251,000 community development block grant. We're kind of in a hard place. Community development used to be much more open. They used to allow you additional time. They no longer do that. They're very quick to take the money away from you. So if we don't act, we will lose the $251,000.
And for that reason, of not losing the money, for the reason of helping our handicap residents that do visit the library, I'm going to support it, and I'm going to vote yes.
Councilmember Arundel.
You know, this is a lot of money, but it's something that's been in the works for quite some time. Definitely something that is needed. As our city manager said, we received community development block grant funding for it, and it's, frowned upon if we, don't utilize that funding like we said we would. So with that being said, I fully support this. Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Yes, it's, we voted on the grant application over a year ago, so we didn't know about it. And one of the reasons why we were able to get the $250,000 from Community Block Grant was because it was for an elevator in the library. Had it been, say, for windows, maybe we would have gotten the $250,000. So one of the reasons why we did get that money was because it's for the elevator. So it is a lot of money, but it's what we applied for, and that's the cost. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Yeah, we needed the grant, we got the grant, that lowers the cost. But also, it was my understanding too that this elevator was first proposed a few years back. It just never came to fruition until now, and that, the cost of living increased, everything increased, so did this project. That's why that was so high, but, the library needs an elevator, the library needs a lot, and this is the start of it. I vote aye. And I do appreciate the city council for all voting aye on this as well.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The resolution is adopted. Mr. Mayor, members of the city council, resolutions number 392, 2, and including number 403 have 5 signatures on them, so if there's no objection, I will take one roll call vote on those resolutions. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Here right now, we're voting on confirming endorsements for the same thing that we just spoke about, community block grants, and that this is the start of the procedure right here. So today's December, 11th of 2018, and this money will be for next year. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Those resolutions are adopted. We have a resolution to confirm endorsement of community development project. It's for the, it's in the amount of $20,000 for the Garfield Boys and Girls Club for a Be a Star program. The resolution signed by council members Aloya, Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Yeah, I'm going to abstain. I do sit on the Board of Trustees with the Garfield Boys and Girls Club, so abstain.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 abstention. We also have a resolution to endorse a community development grant. It's for the Garfield Boys and Girls Club in the amount of $104,025. It's for a new roof, a removal of old AC units at their building at 490 Midland Avenue. The resolution is signed by Councilmembers Aloya, Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Yes, for the same reason that I just stated, I'm going to abstain.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 abstention. Resolutions number 406 to and including number 415 have 5 signatures on them, so if there's no objection, I'll take one roll call vote on those resolutions. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. We have a resolution which amends the capital budget amendment signed by council members Rigoloso, Delaney, Joseph Delaney, Aaron Delaney, and Aloya. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Yes, which one is this, Drew? I'm
It's the
sorry.
capital budget amendment. It's the last one before bills and claims.
Yes, I vote aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. That concludes the resolutions. Proceed with bills and claims.
Please.
Okay, resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield that the following bills, number 2141 to 2143, covering dog trust, police ice trust account totaling $18,672.08, and the current fund totaling $321,045.97, and the water fund totaling $55,816.32, and the general capital fund totaling $8,977.50, and the water capital fund totaling $904.00 per attached computer list, be ordered paid, and the proper officers are hereby authorized to issue checks for same, provided that there are funds in respective appropriations. Be it further resolved that the action of the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer in issuing checks and payment on the ratification list, which includes 14 items prior to the meeting, be ratified. Bills and claims resolution is offered by council members Aloya, Aaron Delaney, Joseph Delaney, and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calangelo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Proceed to ordinances.
Yes,
Mr. Mayor?
please.
Okay. The following entitled ordinance was introduced, hold on a sec, at a meeting held on November 27, 2018. It was duly published. Copy was posted on the bulletin boards in City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the city council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. 2019 salary ordinance.
Mayor,
Yes, I'm sorry, guys.
I believe, Mayor, there was some typographical and clerical errors on the salary ordinance when it was first submitted to.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to amend all those typographical errors.
Yes.
Maybe the CFO could, Mr. Riccatano could state what those changes are.
Please, Roy.
What those proposed amendments are.
All right, so section 3, what we did is we added some of the verbiage so that the actual employees in this in the actual salary ordinance itself will mimic the actual union in which they're mimicking, such as all full-time employees, employers of the city of Garfield identified in the ordinance except for the chief of police, sewer, wastewater facility management, assistant water supervisor, streets and roads and public works supervisor. What they'll do is they're gonna basically follow the collective bargaining agreement of the, with the blue collar. We also did the same for section 5 for the same same titles, in which they would be following, again, the Teamsters Local number 469. It's basically cleaning up the ordinance itself. The dollars that will be expended do not change from the actual first reading. On some of the titles, there were some changes to be full with the public. We had a couple typographical errors that are corrected. For instance, part-time fire inspector, part-time recreation counselors. The numbers were reversed. That was corrected before you. We have the position of a county assistant that we added to the positions. The building inspector, part-time plumbing subcode official, part-time construction official, fire subcode official, fire prevention specialist. The numbers that we presented in closed doors did not reflect the ordinance that was introduced. Again, due to typographical error, those were corrected. And we also added one final unclassified position of tax assessing aide. I would appreciate that being amended this evening.
How many of these numbers are changed from the original ordinance as introduced?
There were roughly 8.
Could you
that were
just,
changed.
could you just state what they are and what they're
Yes.
changed to?
The building inspector, code enforcement officer is now 74,285 for 2017. Part-time plumbing subcode is 15,918. Part-time construction code official was $39.41. Fire subcode official, $13.114. Electrical subcode, $15,000. And this was the one that actually started the ball rolling. We had this position, the dollars were missed, so we actually went one row below. That's why you're seeing all of these changes. And that was the fire prevention specialist, $75,595. And you could see each one followed. So it was a typographical that compounded.
Then they can have public hearing amended.
Okay.
If there's no objection, I would suggest that we have a motion to accept those amended
I have a question.
terms into the ordinance for discussion, for open to the public.
Through you, Mayor?
Yes.
Yes, so Roy, basically, everyone on that list are non-union employees.
Correct.
There's not one person
There's not
that is in the
one.
union that fits those titles.
No, no one is on there right now.
Okay, we're going to open it up to the public? Oh, wait,
I
wait,
made a
yeah,
motion, I
you
didn't
made
get
a
a
motion.
second.
I'm sorry. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion by Councilmember Aloya, seconded by Councilmember Aaron Delaney to amend the ordinance as stated by the Chief Financial Officer. On the roll call on the amendment, Councilmember Aloya.
In English, what the CFO just said was, everybody gets to get their money for Christmas. With regards to the fact that we make a typographical error on a piece of paper means that they don't get it. So we can rewrite it, we can redo it, we can publicize it, and we can wait until January or February. I don't think that that's correct nor fair. It's not that we're giving anyone any additional funding, it's just that making sure that every piece of paper is correctly typed and written, and it's completed before Christmas time. They deserve it too. I vote aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Yes, on there, we have our council members, and not that it goes into effect automatically, but it gives the possibility of council members getting raises. I am definitely against that, but you cannot vote item by item, correct? So I either vote for the ordinance, or I vote against the ordinance as it stands.
That's correct, but again, as I said previous, every position here, some of these positions were not filled. Some of these positions were actually establishing the minute max. That's why we're here this evening. That's up to the manager as far as the positions up to the max. For the mayor and council, we put in a max. Whether you accept it or not next year, that would be your prerogative. But at least the tools are in place for you to at least consider. potential raise.
And I also disagree with once we get to certain salaries, they should be capped. When we start approaching 200,000 or exceed 200,000, I think we need to, as a body of government, look at it and to put a cap on certain salaries. And that's a part of this salary ordinance also.
Again, it's only a max.
Right, it's a max, but it's something that I think we should not exceed. So I'm kind of boxed in here. If I don't approve it, a lot of the people don't get what they're entitled to. But yet this opens the door for future things that I disagree with.
That would be your prerogative.
How does that, each salary has to be by whose decision? That's the city
City
manager.
manager makes the final decision on the salaries. He hires, he fires. It's the manager. However, it would also be with my input. I've done quite a bit of work.
But there'll be a second time to address at least some of that, as far as,
Not
for
under your
instance,
form of government. Once you.
but the council salaries is our
Oh,
decision.
absolutely. You would have to make that
Right.
decision,
And,
meaning this council.
and then we would evaluate and, the items that Tom cannot handle, right?
Oh, of course.
So we would have a say on that. Like, for instance, his salary, that would be up to the council, or not?
Council?
I have to give you an opinion on that next meeting, Mr. Calabro, Captain Calabro.
All right, well, I'm gonna support this at this time, but these are things that I think we need to address. The cap of salaries that are at 200,000 and the council, as far as, any potential raises. So I'll support it and deal with it at another time. I vote aye.
Councilmember Aaron,
Oh, I'm sorry, I went out of roll call. No, because you didn't vote.
I did.
Oh, you
I voted aye.
Okay, I vote aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney on the amendment.
Yes, just to address one of the concerns of Councilman Calangillo in regards to the salaries with the council members. I have no preference. I do not need or want a council member increase, so I will put that on record tonight. And I will stand by that opinion until the end of my term. So with that being said, I support this ordinance on amendments. I vote aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
I abstain.
Mayor Rigoloso.
I believe there should be no cap, all right, on anybody. They work, they do their job, regardless of how many years they're in. There should be, you capping someone and then they work another 10 years. You telling me they can't get a raise because we're putting a limit on people's salary? That's not the way, I ever believed in. I believe there shouldn't be caps on anybody's salary. We vote as a council to give out raises, and people work, they put the years in, they deserve a raise. Cost of living always goes up, insurance always goes up, gas goes up. Well, so the salary should go up. There's some people in our city that haven't gotten a raise in 2 or 3 years, and I believe, they deserve a raise regardless of what their salary is. So, Councilman Aloya well said, it is Christmas time and people deserve a raise, and I vote aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 abstention on the amendment, so now we need a public hearing.
At this time, to this ordinance and this ordinance only, anybody would like to come on up? I see no hands.
So now we need a vote on final adoption? Okay. On final adoption as amended, Councilmember Aloya.
Just for clarification, what is the present salary of a council person?
I think 753,
How about that?
yeah.
I've got it. It's $7,531 in 2017.
Okay, and what would it be?
In 2020, it would be $7,992.
We use 2%.
Right, it's $400.
Yep.
Okay. Just for clarification, I mean, we're not raising or even considering raising our salaries other than the 2%. as with all the other employees. So it went from 7,500 a year to 7,900. The other issues are yet to be debated. I vote aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Yes, with my comments from the amendment carried through to this vote, I will support it, yes.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Abstain.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes and 1 abstention. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held, hold on, I got these. They're discombobulated. It's Firehouse. Okay, got it. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on November 27, 2018. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards at City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public. And having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the city council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to authorize the improvement of Firehouse Number 2 in, by, and for the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $250,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Need a public hearing.
On this ordinance and this ordinance only. Anybody like to come on up? I see no hands. Joe?
Okay, on second reading, final adoption, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes.
Region 40,000 next.
340.
Okay. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on November 27, 2018. Was duly published. Copy was posted on the bulletin boards at City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public. And having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the city council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to appropriate an additional sum of $340,000 for the 2018 Comprehensive Infrastructure Improvement Program in, by, and for the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, New Jersey, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such additional appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
On this ordinance and this ordinance only, anybody would like to come on up? Please do. Please state your name. And there will be a 3-minute.
Edward Devine, 159 Market. Quickly, what is this infrastructure improvement program? What are we improving? There's no information here as to what this is. Is there a place where I could obtain this information? Did I miss something on a bulletin board?
Tom, please.
Sure. This is part of the overall improvement program for this coming year. We plan on repaving the lot between the Boys and Girls Club and our senior center. It's in rough shape. The lot behind the recreation center. We plan on doing sidewalk work and curb work all around the city hall. We've had all kinds of events now at City Hall, and we have more events coming. The City Hall parking lot is a complete disaster, so it is repaving of the entire City Hall parking lot. So that's why it's called the Comprehensive Infrastructure Improvement Program. We have work to do at our library lot. We have drainage work to do there. So it's kind of an all-encompassing kind of home improvement project.
I got you. Just as a matter of policy, is this information available to the public? Would I have to just ask to obtain this information, or is there a way or place I could go to
I'm going to
find
turn.
out?
Yeah, I have no problem providing the infrastructure. Like, how do we do that?
Is it
Mr.
posted
Clerk?
on the bulletin board?
Yes, it
at
is.
all?
And you can come march down to the city clerk's office. I can give you a copy of any
Okay,
ordinance.
so in
So
other
it's
words, all the
posted,
details-
all ordinances are posted on the bulletin board right here in City Hall.
That's what I asked when I first
Right,
came up.
exactly.
All the details concerning
Right,
this.
the whole ordinance as to what it is.
Right.
Are on the bulletin board.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And a copy, if you want your own copy, the clerk will give you a copy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to come on up? I see no more hands. Drew?
Okay, on second reading, final adoption, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes, the ordinance is adopted. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at the meeting held on November 27, 2018. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin boards at City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public, and having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the City Council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to appropriate an additional sum of $315,000 for the installation of an elevator at the Garfield Public Library in, by, and for the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such additional appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
On this hearing, and this only, on this bond, I'm sorry. I see no hands.
Okay, on the roll call on second reading, final adoption, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. What's the next one?
970.
Okay. Okay, on introduction, bond ordinance to appropriate an additional sum of $970,000 for the demolition of the existing police station and the construction on such site of a new police station in by and for the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such additional appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. On introduction, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on first reading. What's next? No removal?
No removal.
Okay, on first reading, an ordinance to amend Chapter 280 of the City Code of the City of Garfield entitled Snow Removal. The ordinance is introduced by council members Aloya. It's introduced by the entire City Council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Just for the record, Bob, could you just state the difference in this ordinance and the previous one? Offhand, do you have it?
So this one on the snow removal just talks about who can, mandatory court appearances and when they are required and when they're not required. So it was requested by the municipal court for the more effective administration of the matter. And I don't have the particulars here.
All right, but the court was the one who recommended that we do this. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes on first reading. The ordinance passes on introduction. And finally, we have on first reading an ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 142-4 of the City Code of the City of Garfield. The ordinance is introduced by the entire City Council. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Arundel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. The ordinance passes on introduction, and that concludes all written items for voting at this time. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council.
Okay, at this time, we'll open it up to citizens and taxpayers. Would anybody like to come on up? I see, please state your name. Everybody will have a 3-minute window.
I think I better more than that, but actually, I'm here just to inform the city.
Even though we know
council-
who you are, for the
Oh,
audio
sorry.
record, state your name.
My name is Julio Quiles. I live at 95 Willard Street,
You're good.
Garfield. I just want to inform the city council and the mayor that we just had a member pass away from the Garfield VFW. He was known in town as a hero, and I'm hoping that the city could come out and support the family as well as the city council. He will be viewed at a lawyer's funeral home tomorrow, Thursday, between 5 and 9 o'clock in the evening. Thursday, and then they're gonna take it to the cemetery on Friday. So the viewing for the public would be from 5 to 9. hopefully we can see each and one of you. He served his country. He was a war hero. He's 1 out of 10 that survived 300 men that got killed. And so, with that said, your support and coming and supporting the family, acknowledging the fact that he is a person that served his country proudly. I just wanted to inform you guys, and I thank you for your time.
Angel, just so you know, we did do a moment of silence for Eugene
Thank you.
prior here. Tom had a nice little eulogy for him.
And since it's the holiday, before I forget, it's been a blessing. So far, the VFW has an annual toy collection, and as of yesterday, we collected about 600 toys. So I want to thank the community that's out there and supporting us, as well as the council and the mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come on up and speak? At this time,
Ed Devine, 159 Market. I'm looking here at tonight's agenda. We just discussed revising Chapter 142-4 of the City Code. There's no clue as to what that is here. I was just wondering if anybody happens to know what that is.
Those are permit fees that are mandated by the state, requested by Mr. Wallace, or the department, and to have our fees for permits to be the same as those required by the state for collection.
Thank you. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. There was discussion about the city website, hiring somebody to take over the maintenance, development, maybe updating on the city website. Has there been any progress on that? Is anybody doing that?
no, we're going to answer all the questions at the end after everybody
Okay.
gets a chance to talk.
All right. The reason why is because I happened to go on the website tonight, and the minutes have not been updated since June. And I would find that convenient to be able to come up with past events if I can't make it here on a regular basis. I did view the video of a past meeting. A gentleman claimed or said that he had come here to pay his taxes on Election Day. City Hall was closed. I also was attempting to take care of some business at City Hall on that day. Just a suggestion, possibly changing the voicemail. We're not here today. I mean, you don't have to do it for Christmas, but where there might be some confusion, City Hall's closed. I don't think that's too hard. Everybody can do that with their own phone, I think. The new video, excellent, right on the money, at least on the website. I don't know if it's how it's doing with Cablevision. I don't have Cablevision anymore. Congratulations on your new job, Ms. Delaney.
Thank you.
And that's good. I guess you don't need a raise from Garfield, right? And another one, on the Walmart thing, we discussed the recycling thing over there. I know they don't have anything going on over there. On their corporate website, they claim that they have recycling facilities at all Walmarts. They literally have a full page touting their recycling capabilities and whatnot. However, over here in Garfield, absolutely nothing. Maybe somebody could press them. I know you did say you reached out to them at one point. The auto shops, there was an issue concerning auto shops working late at night. Did anybody come up with anything on that, or are these guys still allowed to bang till midnight if they like? And finally, Fleischer's Brook, which I discussed with Mr. Dutch, I believe, at least once. I spoke to a hydraulic engineer at Bergen County. He seemed, I think you might know this gentleman, Christos Kavadas. He did tell me that there was a meeting in the works, and maybe there was going to be some sort of determination as to who is actually responsible for the maintenance of these little culverts and sidewalks and everything else that's falling down along the length of this brook, which I think everybody here knows runs along parallel to Jewel Street. The one on Market Street where I live is in particularly terrible condition. I was wondering if there's been any progress on this, and in particular with Mr. Kavadas, who seemed quite well versed on the whole situation.
Mr. Devine? Oh, thank you. Yes?
Oh, can I just get one more beyond the only one asking tonight? Articles 393 through 398, all of them say resolution authorizing change orders 1 through 12, 13, 14, 15 for Two Brothers contract in connection with the police station. Where can I come up with these orders? What, I mean, I see order numbers here. Are the actual orders available for public viewing? Is that something that's also on a bulletin board?
Yeah, I'll let Roy
It's
answer
not
this
on the
one.
bulletin board. If you need a copy, we can get it to you.
I would imagine somebody would be interested. It's just a bunch of numbers here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joan Manis, I'm at 20 Hepworth Place. Thank you. He brought something up that I've been looking into. And occasionally I go on the website to check the minutes and the agendas of the different agencies. I know definitely the planning board have minutes for January and February only for the year of 2018, and no agendas at all for the year 2018. I'll check again. I mean, I know I go on the website, I know where to find it, I know how to scroll down, I know how to get it. For redevelopment agency, I found the minutes, and I didn't jot this down, but the minutes, I think it's up to August 6th, and the agenda is up to September. But I'll check again tomorrow. But I know definitely the planning board, I was a little surprised at. The zoning board is up to September of 2018. It's just that once in a while, we'd like to check to see what's going on in the meetings. Okay, let me see the minutes. Or the agenda, you don't get that much information from. The minutes, sometimes you don't get that much information from, depending on who's writing them. But it is important that we have this information available. And one other little thing, this couple of weeks ago, there was another truck that rammed into the trestle on Passaic Street. About 2 weeks ago, I happened to be there when it happened. So this truck, of course, you know what happens with the trestle on Passaic Street. It happens many times where a truck rams into the trestle and the whole top part of the truck comes off. Does the trestle get re-examined after these instances? Or does it get examined?
We'll answer that question at the end.
Oh, okay. That's one of the things I was just curious about. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? At this time, I see no hands. Tom, would you like to answer before we
Sure.
open it up to council comments?
Couple of things. So on the website, the mayor and council did approve the hiring of another firm. The other firm, we've been migrating the data to them. All of our department heads have received a draft of that website, and they've all been instructed that they need to come back to us with any changes, clarifications, any improvements that they want. That is in the works. So we're looking for, probably a mid-January change for the website. In terms of the website, some of the information you're talking about, as long as the information is provided to my office, we post it, but a lot of this information is not provided. We will remind the planning board attorney and the redevelopment secretary about minutes. In terms of Fleischer's Brook, I find it fascinating that Christos said that to you, because Christos's position has been that it is the city's problem, okay? And that the county cannot provide any assistance. Those culverts are all ours. So I will be reaching out to Christos and saying to him that I have a citizen who came up who said he's intimately familiar and maybe the county's going to help us, because that's great news, because that's not what I've gotten. I've stood on River Road with this gentleman. I've been at different job sites with this gentleman, and he has made it very clear that it is his position the county has no responsibility whatsoever on any of those culverts by Fleischer's Brook. So I will be reaching out to him directly. If I don't get him, I will reach out to his superior. In terms of the trestle, I don't know what the protocol is. I frankly was not advised that there was that kind of an accident. We do receive reports of serious accidents around the city. I have nothing on that, so I will check on that. I will point out that we did have the chief engineer from New Jersey Transit at the site. There was an inspection. Mr. Dennistrand was present. She assured us that absolutely positively the trestle is totally structurally sound. She is an engineer. That's her only job, to determine whether or not those trestles are sound. She stakes her reputation on it, so she's young. She's starting her career. I got to believe her because she's a licensed structural engineer. I will tell you that I did reach out to John Del Calle again at New Jersey Transit. They will be, the project, as I had indicated at a prior council meeting, the project was awarded. They were going through a safety program and safety protocols that needed to be established. While they were doing that, obviously the weather turned colder, and there will be no work done on the trestle until the spring. But the contract has been awarded, and they assure us that when the weather breaks, they will be out there to do some upgrades and painting of the entire trestle. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Aloy, open it up to.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. With regard to the accidents, our police always notify New Jersey Transit upon any accident that includes or has anything to do with the tracks. So I'm sure the city manager will address that with the police department, but I can pretty much guarantee you that they were notified, because New Jersey Transit shows up for all their accidents that have everything to do. They should have brought the paint, though, to paint the trestle a lot sooner, but that's an argument for another meeting. With regard to resolutions, just to discuss how things work, we work resolutions, they're not basically an ordinance or law or anything that's other than our daily business as a council. Please come to this other meeting, which is in the other room, and you'll hear us discuss the resolutions that are hitting us on a daily basis. The ordinances, absolutely, you're allowed. You're allowed to go everywhere we go. The only time we close the door in that room is when we're talking about litigation issues. And we announce closed session. But you can attest that there are other taxpayers here in the room that do attend our meeting in the other room and listen to our discussion on resolutions. With the ordinances are posted on the bulletin board. So once an ordinance is introduced, it now becomes a something that the clerk will now post on the bulletin board saying this is effective, this is an effective law going into, I get frustrated when taxpayers come up and ask us questions on the things that we should have already posted on the bulletin board. If we did it wrong, I apologize to you. If we did it right, please get the ordinance off of the board and you know exactly what we're talking about. Those are the things on introduction. The other thing about the auto body places, I have a problem with some parts of that ordinance, but without question, there's a noise ordinance. If I make the noise, if an auto body man makes the noise, or if anybody else, our police should be shutting them down at 10 o'clock at night. They already have that on the books. So I'm not really sure why that was skipped over, but some of the other parts of that auto ordinance that was proposed, I still have questions with, because I think it does compromise substantially what we've permitted these businesses, tax-paying businesses, to exist in our town. There was one thing on clarification, and sometimes this is also a difficulty, is that we have taxpayers come up and make a claim that sometimes is not totally correct, even though we never want to question a taxpayer. But our taxpayer did claim that not only did he not be able to pay his taxes on voting day, which I think voting is more important than having the city hall open, but he claimed that we had a 30% increase in his taxes. I remember that specifically because it was a really substantial number. And he was most adamant that his taxes went up by thousands of dollars. Mr. Dutch, you did review that. What was the true and more accurate number?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I did a 3-year look back, and the increase was anywhere from 3 to 4%. It was nowhere near the over 30% the gentleman had said.
You know, so I mean, you never want to say to one of our taxpayers, you're wrong, but one person making a claim that his taxes went up 30% just so he can get to the mic, get on TV, and instill a particular point into the meeting as it being factual, we really shouldn't react too quickly. We should react slowly to make sure at least our facts. But if we do something wrong, I want to apologize to you publicly. We try not to do that many things without proper notification for the taxpayers. I think I've touched base on everything, other than those that are not going to be at our next meeting. I wish you a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. God bless. Thank you.
Councilman Calangiolo.
Yes, most of the items I was going to discuss have been explained by our city manager. I just want to congratulate the Garfield Boys and Girls Club. They had a very, very successful dinner. They honored our mayor, Rigoloso. They honored Angel Quillis, Sergeant Angel Quillis from VFW and School Board, Board of Education, and also Michael Marsh. And to the honorees, we did have a resolution or a proclamation honoring you. It wasn't present at the dinner, but we did have something that should have been read. So with that, I don't know how that happened, but it was there. So I just want to say that. I am very pleased with the video being on channel 46. Verizon it's a great job. The meetings are being presented. I think it's very important. But the only downside is we're now not on Cablevision. And with that, you know, Tom assured me, we're working on a possible feed for the city. But in the meantime, it'd be nice if the school board accommodated us until we get that feed and at least put these videos on their channel 77 to at least keep the public informed and as a sign of unity and that we're working together. You know, it makes no sense. I asked a question and it was basically presented, you know, we're not going to try to force them to do something they don't want to do. So to me, that's very irritating. You know, whether we like it or not, we're one city. We seem to work very well together when they request items from us. So with that too, Mr. Eugene Van Lenten, what a tremendous man he was. Every time you walk into the VFW, and if I'm not mistaken, he's one of our oldest vets. He was always very pleasant. He took pride in that he still fit into his uniform from back when he fought in the war. And you know what, to the family, condolences. To the VFW Post, my condolences. And I will certainly be there for the viewing and for Eugene because he was always there for our city. Yeah, and a real gentleman, a real good person. And with that, we do have a meeting next Tuesday, the meeting starting at 7:30. So we will be here. But for those who will not be here, I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Delaney.
Yes, very briefly, Angel, thank you so much for sharing the information on Eugene's services. I will definitely be there on Thursday. I know the city manager addressed most of the concerns about our website. I'm sure so many of you know since the start of my term here on the council, it's something that I was always very displeased with. So I'm very happy to hear that it's a work in progress and in the midst of being turned over. I've said at countless meetings that, you know, not having the agendas up and minutes up is inexcusable. I remember going through the entire website, tab by tab, link by link, and sending that information over of what's missing or inaccurate. So once the new website is up, I will make sure that that is done again. I know I sit on the planning board, so the next meeting that we have, I will bring this up to our attorney about sending those agendas and meeting minutes over. Aside from that, in regards to Walmart, I did reach out. I will reach out again. I think it would probably be best to wait until after the holidays, though, and I will copy you in on that email, Mr. Devine, and stay more on top of their public relations individual that I've been in contact with. Aside from that, as Mr. Calangelo said, the Boys and Girls Club Gala was a huge success. We also had the opportunity to tour the new police station as it is standing at the current moment. And, it's a work in progress as well, but it's definitely something that has been long overdue and that our police department needed in order to thrive in the future. So with that being said, for those of you that we won't see next Tuesday, happy holidays and happy new year. But again, you're more than welcome next Tuesday at 7:30.
Oh, you want to say something?
Mr. Mayor.
Deputy Mayor.
Just quickly, of course, and, it was mentioned before about capping salaries. And, when you cap a salary, that means that the person could always, behind you, you could be in charge of somebody making more money than you, all right, up to. So that's really not a great idea, because I believe the person who's in charge should be making more money than he's in charge of. And if you do cap salaries, that just doesn't be. So it's something to, consider. You don't want an understudy making more money than the person who's in charge. So that's not right. That's not right to, especially the person being in charge, doing the work and putting in the time. And I'm sure anybody who is getting that money is deserved of it because of the fact that he's getting the money. I mean, no other reason why somebody would get that much money if he didn't deserve it. So with regards to Mr. Devine, the few questions that you asked, the ordinance with regards to the auto shops and the auto sales, I brought it up twice already, and twice I didn't have the votes to get it passed. So I'm going to bring it up again, but I want to make sure that it fits and it's going to get passed, because there are certain things that we have to straighten out with regards to the amount of cars on a parking lot, with cars being too close to the sidewalk, and the hours. The hours right now, we don't have a ordinance right now saying the hours of an auto shop. Just because auto shop could be open just doesn't mean that they're going to be making noise. They still shouldn't be open. So I agree with that. And the other thing, I like to congratulate Elmwood Park on being lucky enough to hire one of the best people around. They got to jump on that. So really, congratulations goes to Elmwood Park being smart enough to get that position filled. With that, Eugene, he's a great guy. We'll miss him. But also, we happen to have a volunteer fireman who is operated on today, open heart surgery. His name's Emil Sudol. Emil had 3 bypasses and a valve replacement. Approximately 6 o'clock, the surgery was over. And I was just like, Emil's been part of Garfield forever. He's been a volunteer fireman at Company 4 for years, in charge of fundraising, and he's just a good guy. So if we all could just, especially this time of year, with his wife and his family going through, to keep Emil in our prayers. Let's hope that he has a speedful recovery, and he comes back the same way he went in, a lunatic. With that, that's it from me, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, speedy recovery, Emil. Angel and the VFW, thank you for your toys for the holiday. They're going around collecting it, and, some of our families, their little ones, you'd be surprised what a $10 toy could do for a little child. And to see their eyes light up and they're smiling as they open up that package is priceless. So thank you guys for putting forth that effort. December 14th is the last day to register for your holiday light contest. It's our senior citizens drive around town on December 19th. We take them out to dinner at La Sicily, and they vote. And they vote on the best lit up house, and it's the top 3 winners, and it's pretty impressive, and they enjoy it. It's a great thing. So, you know, if you know anybody, you know, tell them to decorate their home or register if they're already did. 7:30, I'll reiterate it, 7:30 is our next public meeting. We will miss Eugene, all right? He was a gentleman, and he was a hero, and he'll be surely missed, and he served our country proud. Garfield Middle School is holding their Senior Citizens Day on Friday, so I won't be able to make it to the burial, but pass on my regards to the family, but I'll be there on Thursday. To the video, we had Cablevision here. We had the students do the Cablevision, and now they're out. We offered one of the bids came in where he was going to pay Garfield to use their equipment, and now we're going to ask someone to go and do it for free. You know, it's not right. I believe the school board should worry about their own, and if they want to use Cablevision, they should go videotape the Board of Ed meetings, and don't worry about what the city council does. We have Verizon, and if we want to purchase Cablevision for our own feed, then we'll do it. But let's leave the school out of it. With that said, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you're not here next week, and a Happy New Year. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Aaron Delaney, seconded by Councilmember Calangelo. All in favor?
Good night, everyone.
Good night.